I want to talk to you today about the 3 stages of retirement as I see it and as I have observed it after many, many years of helping seniors or mature adults downsize. So let's talk about the first phase. If you're retired and newly retired, then you know there is a honeymoon phase where perhaps you had goals or dreams, or you were like, for the first month, I'm going to sleep in every single day and I'm going to enjoy it to the fullest. And I don't know really yet what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to figure out what I like, what I don't like, and I'm just gonna unwind and relax until I can figure things out. I call this the honeymoon stage. How long you sit in the honeymoon stage is entirely up to you. I've seen people sit in the honeymoon stage for 3 weeks and go stir crazy. I've seen people who sit successfully in the honeymoon stage for anywhere from 3 to 5 to 10 plus years, who are quite happy, just living a slower pace, having their coffee, going for walks, going to the gym, not picking up any significant hobbies or interests, but just really enjoying being out of the stress of the pressure cooker working environment that they came from before. So if you're facing retirement, you might have goals in that honeymoon stage, which include travel, and that is okay. That can be a priority. But my guess is in the initial stages, which could be from anywhere, like I said, from 3 weeks to a few years, you're still figuring out what to do. It's happy, it's wonderful, but you haven't made any concrete plans yet. The second stage, as I like to refer it, is called the exploration, or the nesting period, as I like to refer to it. This is where you've passed the initial phase of the honeymoon. You probably slept in a whole bunch or got to tackle things that you were really neglecting to do, whether it's lunch with the girls or lunch with the guys or playing a whole bunch of golf. But by this middle stage of exploration, you've probably built a foundation of one that includes a good financial plan that's robust, that you had created probably 10 or 15 years ago, or you've just established now, and you're making plans on a more regular basis. I'm assuming on a calendar basis, where you've got an annual trip booked, or you've decided that every quarter I'm going down south. Whatever it is, here it starts to feel more natural, more of a nesting type, and more of a reflecting stage where you can look back and you can say, oh, I remember when I just retired, I got a whole bunch of stuff done, but now I'm really in my groove. When I meet seniors who are really in your groove, you can tell they've got a schedule, they've got a routine, they've probably established hobbies. But if they're like my dad, unfortunately, for people who didn't have hobbies coming into retirement, can be a place where people often struggle to find how to fill their days more regularly. But they're past the honeymoon and the excitement of being able to come into retirement, but they hit a standstill where they don't really know what to do with themselves. So I see 2 sides of people in this category. I see those that are still really excited, who've built an amazing plan and who are actually crushing their days and their weeks and their years. And then there's the other side for people who lacked hobbies, who are feeling kind of bored. This is feeling too much. They're questioning whether they should go back to work, or they're just bored with life in general and not sure how to fill their days, and they're struggling to find their new social circle. And sadly, the other side of this stage is sometimes where couples go their separate ways and they realize things that they thought they had in common, they don't have in common so much, or someone's become so incredibly introverted and the other person has become so comfortable in their retirement and exploring, and they become so extroverted. So unfortunately, this is where a lot of stuff happens to shift. And finally, we have the wind down stage, which sounds terrible, but it's really where things start to slow down, or we wind down any major activities or travel that we're doing. I see this a lot with seniors who are getting up in age, who no longer take joy from traveling and walking in airports or going on really amazing bucket trips. That's been done in the middle part of their retirement. So now is a time where people start to really think about what the next stage will look like for them. If you're a healthy senior, then you know your planning is not completely done and you still have a lot of joy to life and you're probably still active. But for other people, this is where the reality of age sets in and changes to our bodies and changes to our health, where we need to get serious and think about where we should be considering our next move to. This is where most people will naturally downsize from a larger home to a smaller home, or from a smaller home into a condominium or retirement or independent living. There's the other side of it, where independent living may not serve you so well if you need steady care. But those are just the realities as I see them. And those are the stages that I see from my point of view working with seniors and downsizers alike quite often. I'm going to say what's really important from a real estate message that I'm going to leave you with today is to figure out where you sit. Are you at the beginning? Are you in the middle? or are you closer to the wind down? And I would say knowing where you are and what your real estate needs are so important, because at the beginning you might just be curious about what the house value is because you're trying to put a financial plan that serves you for your retirement, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. And then in the middle, it's just to get a gut check to see if I've still got money to continue to do the things that I wanted. But closer to the wind down, it's so important to be realistic and speak with your loved ones or your lawyer or your accountant to figure out what you need to do. But for most people, it's at the wind down where there are important things like thinking about selling the family home has to become a reality to provide ongoing care for yourself as we age. And for others of you, you might be so comfortable and content with your real estate decisions and investments that you've made over the years that you're perfectly happy to stay exactly where you are and stay put and have caregivers come to you. All right, so the most important thing is to figure out where you are in those three categories and to be comfortable and confident with your decisions as you head into retirement. I've seen all sorts of situations, and the one thing I can tell you with certainty is that you can lean on us to come to us to get some advice or just hear a different angle and to present you with options that perhaps you had not considered. Not about putting everybody into one bucket, because the reality is, depending on our health, depending on our wealth, and depending on our real estate investments or portfolios or our family situation, you may be in one category longer than your friends or your neighbors were, and that's okay. But it's important to have a plan that's customized to you while you're independent and have the choices to make them on your own. Thanks for watching.